Good morning, Lashana Tova. There is a joy in this room today, and it's not just because the sun is shining and the weather is warm on a mid-October day. The elegance of this room, the beauty of our congregation, the majesty of our music, all combine to make this a spectacular moment. For me, it is a moment of realizing how much change has occurred. Since we arrived in Syracuse a few years ago, my family and I have developed a few new traditions. Some of them have felt like natural evolutions, while others came more abruptly, feeling almost as if a revolution had occurred in our lives. For example, we have befriended the snowplow guys, welcoming them with smiles, celebrating that glorious day each spring when they stop by to pick up the stakes marking the side of the driveway. We have learned the joy of summertime festivals, from the Greek festival in June to the State Fair over Labor Day and JMAC in September, and they've become highlights. We've all added orange to our wardrobes. And we've cemented a few traditions that we started before our arrival here. We've continued to have clergy friends from other faiths at our Passover Seders. We remain committed to supporting Jewish literacy in our own home and in the community through the PJ Library. And on a personal note, we continue to make what have become annual pilgrimages to our families in Michigan and Nebraska. The drive out to Nebraska used to take 2 days. Then came Zachary and Jacob. The drives increased to 3 days as we needed extra stops to change diapers. And now that they are both out of diapers, and you think the Lord doesn't listen to prayers, the drive has become even longer, though, with rest stops coming very often, restroom breaks every 45 minutes or so, it seems. But as strange as it is to admit it, I've come to relish those long road trips. For a few days, the four of us are together alone. We have time to talk, laugh, sing, explore, laugh, read, smile, laugh, and just plain be. And in driving through a significant chunk of the country each year, we have gained an appreciation for our country, for its strengths and its challenges, its beauty, its potential. Driving across the country provides a blank canvas every summer to paint a new picture. Some years, the crops create an image filled with thousands of shades of green. Some years, the floods leave water and dirt and debris. Most trips include some encounter with a summer storm, filling the skies with a foreboding gray. And in the passing scenery, from country to city, construction zones and new windmills, we are able to see the growth and change in our country. Melissa and I usually split the driving, and in the time that I'm not behind the wheel, I often read a new book. I usually pick something related to politics. Big surprise. Some years the book I read is fiction, some years history or policy. Something about expanding my thoughts on our nation and its government just feels right on a cross-country trip. This past summer, I picked up a new work of fiction by Jeff Greenfield, the political pundit. The book was called Then Everything Changed, and it offers a new spin on an old genre. Greenfield imagines that a few significant moments in the 20th century happened differently, and then expands outward to see how the world might have been. The book is a classic what-if treatise, an experiment in dreaming and imagining and hoping. On a larger scale, Greenfield's book focuses on the intersection of evolution and revolution. Evolution holds that things grow and change on their own, that by nature things are in a constant state of transformation. Revolution, on the other hand, recognizes that sometimes we need a kickstart. Sometimes we need to push and cajole and force the regular movement of change into a higher gear. Greenfield imagines that some of his fictional changes represent the evolutionary process, while others indicate a more direct, concentrated effort at change. Both on Rosh Hashanah and on Yom Kippur, we read of our fate, returning to an image of God, deciding who among us shall live in the coming year and who not, who shall be happy and who not, who shall know calm and comfort and who not. Our prayers remind us that God has the ultimate power of decision, and though the decree may be severe, we can alter the outcome by our own works of repentance, prayer, and acts of righteous charity. That is to say, on the high holy days, we can choose to be passive, to continue the same paths, and allow evolution to do its thing, or we can use these sacred occasions to actively create a revolution and significantly alter the paths of our lives. The underlying notion of these prayers drives much of what we Jews believe. Our prayers teach and we believe that we humans are capable of enormous change. We can change ourselves, we can change our community, we can even change God's decree. On Erev Rosh Hashanah, we spoke of Israel and looked at change from a more global perspective. On Rosh Hashanah morning, we narrowed the focus just a little bit and considered September 11th and the lost decade that has followed. Last evening, we narrowed the focus even further, looking at our own congregation and ways that we could expand equality and opportunity. And now, this morning, on Yom Kippur Day, let us explore the personal side, the notion of individual change that each of us faces as we use the prayer book as a mirror to look into our lives, to look into our souls. I believe our world on this Yom Kippur cries out for change in many ways. Too many of our friends and neighbors are suffering, and we here gathered have the tools among us to make our world more whole, more complete. So let's start the easy part. Take a look at the person sitting to your right. Go ahead. Take a look at the person sitting to your left. Look at the people in front of you. Look at the people behind you. Smile at them. Say hello even. And now recognize with me that within these sacred walls sits a community of people who have the collective ability to respond to the challenges of our world, to create a new year filled with evolution and revolution. Most of us, if given the opportunity, can look back on our lives and see a progression from youth to maturity, from naivete to understanding. That arc of development illustrates the evolution of human life. We enter the world fully dependent, grow in knowledge and wisdom, achieve independence as adults, and then if we are lucky enough to reach old age, tilt back again toward dependence. Along the way, though, we are blessed with infinite options. We make choices daily that propel us in one way or another. And from time to time, we foment a personal revolution or get swept up in one. In calling us to seek teshuvah, to confront our own mortality, Yom Kippur reminds us of the revolutionary power of Jewish life. Each of us, every one of us, can change. On Wall Street and in cities and towns all over our country, protests are taking place and revolutions are occurring as we sit here today. Individuals, seeing that the power to transform is within grasp, have gathered together. Their gatherings are different in both substance and nature from our gathering today, but their purpose shares much with our sacred assembly. They seek change, and so do we. For some of us, change may be concrete. We want to do more to promote our health. We want to be more cautious with our language. We want to help the less fortunate. And for others of us, change is more amorphous. We know that we can do more, that our world can be improved, that the regular paths are not enough. This afternoon, we will read of Jonah and his journey from fear to courage. Jonah heard a call from God and was told to go warn a town of impending doom, but he could not bring himself to act. We all know the story. He ends up in a boat, then in a storm, then in the belly of a whale, and finally gets spit out onto dry land. And only after enduring the agony of seeing his impending doom does Jonah realize that he must respond. He must change his ways. He must act. If we treat this Yom Kippur as we have treated previous days of atonement, we will be like Jonah, who allowed the evolutionary nature of life to proceed. Eventually, things worked out. But if we want to learn from Jonah's travails and effect real change, even radical change, then this Yom Kippur urges us to accept the call for revolution. This Yom Kippur implores, stand before a mirror with open eyes, accept the blessings and the challenges, and commit to transformation. As a temple community, the same challenges of evolution and revolution exist. Our congregation now celebrates 172 years of community. Most of those years have been filled with evolutionary growth. We started as a collection of mostly German immigrants, became a gathering of merchants and professionals, grew in number, welcomed new members, worked to expand our Jewish and American identities. And our history also contains times of revolution, moments when great changes occurred, new buildings were built, additions and renovations took place. Rabbis, cantors, teachers, and leaders arrived and departed. Sometimes those traditions were smooth, sometimes not. And as we near our 175th anniversary, I think it's fair to say that new revolutions are afoot at Temple Concord, and for good reason. Our temple family today is more heterogeneous than ever before. We come from more varied backgrounds, more varied locales, more varied viewpoints than ever before in our temple's history. Our geographic footprint has never been bigger. Our challenge to meet the needs of our families, never greater. In addition to changes in staff, we are now a few years into a significant change in program. We are changing the way people view this temple, becoming not just a place for worship and for life cycle events, but also a place to meet and learn, to grow and to explore. Our temple's voice, at times more quiet, continues to grow in strength. Our role in the community, in the past sometimes prominent, sometimes inconspicuous, has returned now to a level of recognition and admiration. A few years ago, we embraced a new prayer book. In the coming years, we will have the opportunity to welcome a new High Holy Day prayer book as well. We are rediscovering old traditions and creating new ones, living in a constant state of dynamism. We are speeding up the evolutionary process and enjoying the rewards of revolution. We have recognized the demographics of today. We have embraced the exciting opportunities they offer. We have joined with other Syracuse synagogues to make a true community high school in the Epstein School. This change gives many gifts, and I know that the hard work of today will allow us to reap greatly in years to come. We have adopted a new Hebrew curriculum for our school, and under the able guidance of our new Director of Congregational Learning, we are modernizing our school to become a cutting-edge 21st century institution. And soon the time will come to revolutionize our temple itself, making our physical plant fully accessible, fully usable, creating within it a modern place for gathering and a home for study and growth for at least another century. In changing ourselves and our community, we will, I pray, inevitably also change our world. If we both individually and as a community commit to revolutionary change, then others will see and be moved, and incrementally, the world will move from the passivity of evolution to the activity of revolution. We live in times of great fear, of great angst, of great anger, of worry and tension. So many face challenges that only a few years ago seemed remote. Our world has been shaken by terror, rattled by economic uncertainty, dazed by the diction of dictators and demagogues. Yom Kippur provides a response to all we have endured. By claiming the mantle of change, we return to the driver's seat. We regain control, and we can steer ourselves and our world away from despair and towards a time of tranquility. The heavy lifting of today can yield great tomorrows filled with hope. Our liturgy teaches us that teshuvah, tefillah, and tzedakah, repentance, prayer, and charity, can alter the decree that God seals on Yom Kippur. By choosing revolution over evolution, by embracing the change we know we are capable of pursuing, by truly turning, we can craft the world of our dreams and the world that our prayers conjure. So on this Yom Kippur, this day of reckoning, we face a question and a conundrum. Will we confront our challenges, or will we wait for another to act? Will we coalesce around the need for action, for change, for revolution, or will we sit back, content to live with the slow speed of evolution? Our Torah portion this morning from the book of Deuteronomy calls on each of us to accept the covenant, to recognize that all is within our reach, that together we can continue the creation of our world. Nitzavim reminds us that we are all equal before God, we are all a part of the same sacred brit, and that the ultimate choice is ours. We can decide to reach for more, we can decide to grow and change, or we can decide to simply decay. I believe we must heed the clarion call of one of the leading Jewish philanthropists of our era. What got us here will not get us there. Yom Kippur beckons. Embrace and accept the challenge of change. We Jews who have survived millennia know that action defeats fear every single time. Our world, our lives, our community all stand in need of revolution, of rethinking and reimagining and remaking. May the sanctity of this day, the holiness of this gathering, lead us to accept the tasks that we know we must. May this Yom Kippur be a time of true teshuvah, of repentance, return, renewal, and dare I say it, revolution. L'shana Tova.